Hi, Megan.
Hello.
I'm really excited to be supporting you again this year as your BITSA support provider. We had a good first year, and hopefully this year will be the same.
Okay.
Tell me about your summer.
It was good. Busy. I traveled north and got to see my family, and I ended up getting engaged, so I got a busy year ahead of me.
Yay, I know you were looking forward to that
I was.
secret. So it sounds like you're going to be really busy. Hopefully, me helping you with your induction part will kind of take some pressure off of you, and
Yeah.
I can support you in the classroom.
Perfect.
I took a few minutes and printed off a copy of the reflective summary that you did at the
okay.
end of your year one,
Okay.
just to kind of familiarize myself or refresh my memory about some of the things that you were working on and
Right.
some of the things that you thought were a challenge for you.
Okay.
You had a lot of successes last year, which is great.
Yeah.
One of the things that you were a little concerned about was remembering to check for understanding. Tell me a little bit about that.
Well, last year we had 43-minute periods in the middle school, and this year we have 52 minutes. So with those extra couple minutes, I need to make sure that I know that I should be checking for understanding, but I want to make sure that I'm actually doing that. So I know I wrote down here, what are some other things I said? Let's see. Oh, I was really concerned about the idea of it being silent. I know it's nice when it's silent because you think everyone's working, but sometimes when it's quiet, there's not as much learning going on, and sometimes it has to be noisy. So I wanted to kind of play with that this year.
Okay.
And then also, I really believe that people learn from other people. So I wanted to get more of the teaching off of my plate and more of the teaching to each other, the kids teaching each other after I've done some direct instruction. So those are some of the things I looked at last year, and actually this year I kind of took your advice and started some whole brain teaching activities and strategies, and I think it's working really well with my 6th graders. My 7th graders aren't so hot on it just yet, but I think if I get the practice in my 6th grade group with one of my 6th grade groups, then maybe I can use those skills for my 7th graders too.
Okay,
So.
tell me about your classes. I know you have a really challenging schedule, so how does that break down your middle school schedule?
Yeah, I have 4 different preps. So I do 7th grade math, 7th grade science, 6th grade math, and 6th grade science, which is a lot. But my 7th graders I have in the morning, and they're a good group, but they're very bright, and so they're very social. And the kids that are really bright end up talking all period long because they feel like they're bored. And so I'm having a hard time keeping them on task. And I think some of the whole brain teaching stuff will work with them, but I just have to get better at it so that we can practice more. And then I have 2 groups of 6th graders. One group is a core class, so I teach them math and science. And then my last group, I only teach them science. So I kind of decided that I wanted to focus on that 6th grade group that I teach math and science to, my 3rd period this year. I wanted to focus on them for the BITSA inquiries this year.
Okay, tell me about the makeup of that class. Are they high, low? What kind of challenges are you having with them?
Yeah, well, right now I was looking at some lists, and I have one English language learner, and then I have 9 GATE students, and I have 2 RSP kids.
So
And
quite a mix of ability then.
right, and then I have a lot of kind of on the bubble kids that are just about ready to be proficient, but not quite. So all things considered, they're a pretty high class, and they're capable of a lot, and they have really great ideas. But I want to make sure that I'm helping them learn to their full potential, because I don't want to just teach to the middle. You know, I want to make sure that I'm challenging those, especially those 9 GATE kids.
So if the checking for understanding was one of the things that you were concerned about with this group, what are some things that you've tried already this year at the beginning of the year?
Well, I have whiteboards, individual student whiteboards with whiteboard pens, and so sometimes I pass those out, and I'll ask them a question, and they write down the answer, and they hold it up, kind of a thing. Because I don't have the smart board yet, I don't have responders, and that works really well. But it's really troublesome to try to hand them all out, give them time to doodle, because inevitably they're going to want to doodle on the boards,
Okay.
and then collect them all back again. Collect their attention rather, and then start the lesson, and then collect the boards. I mean, it's a time issue. So that works really well, but I don't get to do it very often because of the time issue.
How about your layout of the classroom? How do you have your classroom structured as far as the tables and the
Yeah.
pairing of your students? Do you have high lows? How do you have the class arranged?
Yeah. Well, last year I started out my class in rows, which was great to keep kids facing forward and on task. But the problem was that when it came to group work, they weren't able to work in groups. They had to turn to their side, and it wasn't very conducive to group work. So with my idea of trying to focus more on group work and learning from each other, I have them in groups of 6. We have these awful tables. They're trapezoidal tables, and so they're kind of in random groups of 6. But the students are paired usually with a high and a low, and I really like to put 2 middle kids together because they can challenge each other. Because if I put a middle kid with a high, they're smart enough to just let the smart kid tell them all the answers.
So it sounds like you spent a lot of time deciding which kid was going to sit where and who their partner was going to be.
Definitely. And then I also like to switch it up too. I tell my students that we switched seats, we change seats every science chapter.
Oh, okay.
So that is approximately every 3 to 5 weeks that we're changing seats, which is nice because then they get to know each other better and it creates a better sense of community in the classroom.
Okay, good.
Yeah. So with all those things considered, trying to get the kids to learn from each other and trying to check for some understanding and things like that.
Okay. Last year you spent a lot of time looking at some of the information about your school, the school community, things like that.
Right.
Part of the class profile and part of the preparing for inquiry, we can use some of the information that you collected last year.
Okay.
We'll update some of it. We can do that together online.
Okay.
So the next time we meet, we'll get together with the computer. We'll sit down, be online. Maybe we can go somewhere and relax together. We don't have to be at the school setting. The other thing I was thinking of, we can use some of the state websites, some of our school websites. A lot of the information is now current and uploaded in those places.
Right.
So when we get together next time, we can use those resources, do a little cut and paste, so we're prepared to move forward.
Okay.
Okay?
Sounds good.
Thanks.